Hi, so today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different to my last video, but it's still related. So people have been asking me about what settings I use, plugins and templates. So I thought today I'd start off by going into the appearance that I've got on my language learning vault, then talk about the plugins that I've got, the core ones and the community plugins, and then finally finishing off with my templates. So you can see here that this is my initial homepage. I love having this open. It's clear, it's easy to read, and I've got foldable headers enabled, which means anything underneath I can just fold it like that, so you don't see anything else. So if I know I want to be focusing on mando'a, I can get rid of anything down here to do with lang delta. So to turn this on, you go into settings. It's in editor, and you scroll down, fold heading. It's fairly straightforward. So I have the spell checker turned off because it's a dictionary vault. I don't need it trying to correct my lang delta into English or the mando'a or French or anything like that. Readable line length I've got turned on just because it looks better to me, but if you wanted to turn that off, this is what it would look like. It stretches out to fill your entire screen, but personally I think this is a lot neater. I can see everything more clearly. Auto pair brackets, auto pair markdown sync, those are purely there because I don't want to forget to close the brackets at the end and have everything not work. And I know I'm very bad at doing that. So then everything else I've pretty much kept as is. I haven't really messed about with any of the other settings on this. And if we go into files and links, all of this is kept the exact same way. Use wiki links. This just means instead of having the http / very long URL, I can just bracket bracket link bracket bracket. Now my appearance, you can see here that I've got it in dark mode. This is what it looks like in dark mode, but if I hit Ctrl P and go to use light mode, you can see the change here. Personally, I prefer using dark mode just because it's a little bit easier to use for a longer period of time. I found it's less eye strain. I also have something enabled on my computer called Flux, which changes the light of the screen from blue to a more orange glow, which again works for me. Font size I've got set to 16 so I can see it easily. And then I'm using the traffic lights theme. The link to that is in the description. Personally, I love having each vault look different, so my bullet journal looks different to this, looks different to my second brain. This is just so at a glance I can tell what vault I'm in and what I've got enabled in it. So coming down to here, you can see that I've got a few CSS snippets enabled. So I've got colour tags, which is allowing me to do things like this, where anything tagged with certain things will automatically get coloured, whatever colour I've set it to. Heading changes gives me these bars across. If I didn't have that enabled, as I'll show you here, that's what it looks like. So I much prefer that since it gives a clear breakup of the page and I can tell exactly which things are under which heading. And the others are just basics. So the wrap over here means that if I've got something like this where it's quite long, it won't get cut off. Unfortunately, anything in a folder will, like these, but the folders themselves are quite good at just, I don't want to say folding in, but folding in as they're used. So that's it for appearances. if there's anything else you want to know, just send me a comment, and yeah, I'll get back to you about that. Okay, so now looking at the plugins that I've got. So if you click the little settings icon and come over here to core plugins, you can see a list of what plugins you've got installed, and the little bit over at the side lets you know if they're enabled or not. So I haven't really messed with this much. Everything's kind of the basic settings that it was when I created the vault. I don't have the outgoing links enabled. I don't have tag pane enabled just because I don't personally want them. I don't like them, it gets confusing and distracts me. But that's just my personal preference. I don't need daily notes. Now, I do have templates, but I don't have the plugin installed since I've got a community plugin that does the exact same thing. So this to me was a little bit, I didn't need it, so I didn't have it open. Command palette is key, I use it all the time, and it makes making notes so much quicker. I don't need to right click, I don't need to go through every single step, I can just hit Ctrl and P and start typing. Again, I don't use starred files in my dictionary vault, I don't feel the need to, but if you were using certain words frequently, or you have a test on certain words, this might be a good feature to enable. And then I also don't use outline because I don't feel I need it. Every outline of the note is going to be exactly the same. Word count I have on just to have it a little bit more familiar. Every writing tool I've used ever has had a word count option, so I've put this on just because I'm used to it. I don't have an audio recorder enabled at the moment, but again, it's a language vault, so this might be useful to record yourself and see how your pronunciation is improving over time, or to compare and contrast your pronunciation with a native speaker. And then at the very bottom you can see here that I've got sync enabled. This is purely so I can use it on my phone as well. It's I think $4 a month, and $4 or $5 a month, and honestly I highly recommend it to anybody that is using Obsidian on multiple devices. It saved me a lot of time trying to fiddle about with Google Drive, my file explorer on my laptop, and so on. So you can see here that you've got a plugins option, plugin options even. So scroll down, command palette is here, so you can put pinned commands. So for example, I could choose here to use light mode as a pinned command. So when I come off and go onto this, it's at the very, very top to use light mode. And I'll change it back very quickly there. So that's very useful. You can also reorder this if you've got a few. So if I'm noticing I'm using the exact same commands all the time, it's worth it to come into the options here, pinned commands, and add a few. Note Composer, I've got enabled, I don't really use it admittedly. Again, quick switcher, page preview, I've not really done anything to these. And then sync is just set up so I can again sync between my laptop and my phone. And now we get to community plugins. This is a little bit differently since you need to turn safe mode off to be able to use them. Now, community plugins are made by people who use Obsidian, and the way you find these is by clicking this little browse button here, and a list of plugins will come up on the side. You can also search for plugins, so if I know I want one for links, I can type in links here at the side, anything to do with links, it will come up on the side here. If you want to see more about a plugin, you can click it there. It gives you a link to the GitHub and a link a little sort of readme file comes up at the side here, so you can see exactly what it does. So the plugins that I've got installed for this vault are Admonition. I'm really hoping I'm saying these right. If I'm not, I apologise in advance. And you can see here that makes these little boxes. This is what I use to do sentence practice. So if I go into sentence practice here, you can see that I've got the target language, and then when I click on it, I get the translation underneath. Now if I go into edit mode, you can see here that this is what they look like. So you've got add translation, it's a custom block I've made myself. You've got title, and the title is always going to be the target language that you're trying to translate from. So here I've got it from my target language into English. So I've got title, alarm navartagar. Collapse is closed, so I don't get the translation before I've even looked at the actual text. And then welcome, how are you? So when I go here, comes up welcome, how are you? Go back to community plugins and go down to the plugin options. You can see here that you've got quite a few options here. I don't have any of them changed. It's the basics that I came with. The only thing I've done is add a new type, which you do by clicking that button. You type in the name of it, so test. You can choose an icon that you want for it. So you can search here as well. So if I want to do a rose, oh, doesn't seem to be one. If there's a skull, oh, there's quite a few, so I can choose that. You can set the colour as well with this handy little tool. So I want it this odd yellowy green colour, and click save. So anytime I type add dash text for an test for an admonition block, it'll come up with this one. And it's as simple as just clicking the button at the side to delete it. I've got recall and spaced repetition installed but not enabled because I was just testing those out. However, they are very, very good tools for reviewing, say, a flashcard or having a spaced repetition system to learn in a similar way that Memrise works. I have Quick Add installed but not enabled since I've got it enabled, sorry, but I don't use it since I've been messing with the vault structure. It's been kind of useless since anytime I set something up, I've probably changed it and it no longer works. But Quick Add means you can make notes, add new pages, add new sections to a page instantly, very, very easily. And now we come on to probably the two most important community plugins for my vault, which are Dataview and Templater. My vault would not exist without Dataview. I use it for everything on it. So when we go into the tables here, and I've got the list of all the mando'a terms, this comes from Dataview. So you can see here, my little Dataview snippet. It creates a table in English from anything tagged hashtag mando'a. It doesn't include anything in this folder here, the templates folder, and it's sorted by the file name alphabetically, ascending. And this basically searches out through my vault for anything with those conditions. So anything tagged mando'a, and then anything that's got the English and 2 colons next to it. I've got the same thing for Langbelter here with the Langbelter tables, and for all the words I've added in so far. Again, if I go into this table English from hashtag Langbelter, it doesn't contain anything in the templates folder, and it's sorted alphabetically. So if we go into the plugin options, Dataview, everything is left the same. I haven't changed anything at all, although if you wanted to have a different way of registering null, or that there's no option here, you can type it in there easily. And we get to the final community plugin that I want to talk about today, which is Templater. Now, this is a way to, essentially, you can see it in the name, make templates. So I can create a new note from a template very, very easily. So if I wanted to make a new note for, let's use a Mandalorian word, because I've got the dictionary up already, and I'll put helmet, because I love this word. It's similar to the word for bucket. So it's one of my favourite words. So you've got this here. So if I copy that, come back to my Obsidian Vault, Control and P to bring up the command palette, and type in new note. You can see here the second option is create a new note from template. I can click that, click the mando'a since that's the term I'm using. Now you can see here that it comes up with note title. Paste my mando'a in there. The English translation, come back over here, is helmet. So I type in helmet, it's a noun, so I'll put that into there. And we can see it's got the first little bit already filled out for me. So just go into here and copy and paste. There are probably easier ways to do this and have it more automated. This is just personally what I like doing. And I'll give that half a better. So when we go to preview mode, you can see it comes up as normal with everything there. And I just click on this and drag it over to mando'a vocab. So when I go into the tables, it should come up here that I've added this in. So it's tagged hashtag mando'a. Sometimes it can take a little bit for it to update, admittedly, so it's a little bit awkward at times. Now, I have two types of template here. I've got one that looks quite scary, like this, which is the one I've just used. Or I have a template that looks a lot simpler, like this. It all depends on what style you want to use to create your notes. So if I wanted to make a new word in Langbelter, create a new note from template, Langbelter note, you can see it just comes up with that note. I can title it whatever I want, and that's my new note. So I could type it, quilting. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what type of word that is at the moment off the top of my head, and I apologise. I should take out that now. And English is everything. So I go into Langbelter vocab. Oh, I put it in sentence practice by mistake. In vocab, you can see that it appears here. If I go to all words, it comes up here. It is just personal preference which template you want to use. If it is the more complicated one, like this, which prompts you with that little dialog box that I showed earlier, or if you want to use the basic template. Admittedly, 90% of the time, I just use the basic template here. I don't include all of this. Even though I know I can, I prefer just making it as simple for myself as possible. If something goes wrong with this one on the left, I'm not well versed enough to know what's going wrong or how to fix it. So I stick to the simple answer for myself. But that is the templates I have with Templater, and you can see here that's the template folder I've got set up, and I haven't changed anything else. So that is my language learning vault. That's how I've got everything set up. yeah. Thank you.